All right, well, happy Wednesday.
Hump day.
It is hump day, which is crazy. Time is flying by for us.
Yeah, busy week this week.
Yep, busy week this week. Hi, Chica Sassy Retail. How you doing today? Where are you joining us from?
You're very good at reading people's Instagram name. I have a hard time breaking the word.
Actually, it's a Chic Sassy Retail, so I actually don't think I said it right originally. And then good afternoon, Bill from 324 Finds. Long time no see. How's the move coming along? How many days do you have to move, actually? Chic Sassy Retail says that she's from Nevada. So, question for you. We're actually going to explore a new platform today that we have never discussed. A lot of the, we only really saw on four major platforms and very little sell on OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace. But it is important as a reseller to know all the different platforms that are out there. Because you may want to jump into a platform before it blows up and becomes a trendy platform. You may want to get your feet in there before that. And the platform that we're going to talk about today is one of those platforms that we see is, it's been around, but it looks like it's growing, and it's one you may want to consider. Bill says, long damn day. Got flooring ordered and the roof is going on next week. We have until September 12th to move. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. You have quite a bit of time before you move. That's so fantastic.
You guys are moving fast too on the renovation.
Yeah, and I also got a chance to look at Girly Girl Style. It was on her YouTube. I got to see the house, which is like so large and has so much storage. It's so amazing. So it's like your own little place you can retreat, right? So Tori and I went to a thrift store and I scored a Tori a vintage blazer. Wow.
Nice.
I would like to see that, but I think you guys mentioned you're going to show everyone on Sunday what your finds are. And what a cool sale you guys found, where there was a very nice sale they shared. Okay, we're going to get started with our topic, so we're going to reveal it.
Hello, Resell Wannabe. So this is actually the first clothing selling platforms that I've heard. It was actually from your cousin. She mentioned it to us. So it is Depop. Depop always makes me think of Mbop. Mbop, you know that song?
I do know that song. And are any of you familiar with the platform, and do any of you currently sell on there?
What does Depop mean?
So I read in an article from the founder that it doesn't have any meaning.
Oh, that's
so yeah, there's not really meaning to it.
They're branding for you.
Yeah, 100%. Good evening, 2434 Collectibles.
So we're gonna talk a little bit about Depop, what it does, how many users are using the platform, and how does it work, what is the commission. So let's quickly go through some interesting facts that we have. So Depop is a buy and selling platform. There are 15 million people using the platform, so that's grown quite a bit.
There's 15 million people that are currently using this platform. 10 million are in abroad, and 5 million are in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, Karen from Six Creative Concepts.
And
happy Wednesday to you.
It's interesting that 90% of the Depop users are actually under the age of 26,
that's Generation Z. Yes, that's a very large generation. A lot of retailers are catering to this generation. We should learn about them. We should cater to them also, because that's our job, right? We are retailers. We are secondhand, primarily secondhand retailers, and secondhand is taking up 10% of the retail market, which is billions of dollars.
Yeah, so this is interesting. Depop has users in 147 countries. So we're going to talk briefly about shipping. They actually allow you to ship internationally.
Yeah, well, I mean, they happen to be an international company founded in the United Kingdom. So
in Milan, actually, but their office is in London.
Got it.
Interesting. So if you look at the visual here, we have a picture here. It looks exactly like Instagram. I don't know if this is Instagram, but that is really their core. Their specialty is they make it look like Instagram. They want to make sure the pictures are super eye-catching, and they really follow that so that people can easily navigate using a similar platform as Instagram.
Yeah, and you can also really work on your narrative of like just who you are as a person, as an individual, as a store, which is very unique, actually. It's very unique because there's no other platform that allows you to do that, right? Mm-hmm. To include a narrative. Yeah. Like a blog, if you will. This is the only one that does that. So that's super interesting.
Yeah. Hello, BW resellers. So Depop users sell old clothes and mostly vintage garments. Sometimes if you are successful selling on that platform, you can actually start your own brand and distribute it exclusively through Depop. It's very similar to Poshmark, ThredUp, and mainly it's skewing towards a younger audience, which is age under 26.
Yeah, but just to kind of like rectify what we said earlier, the company was actually founded originally in Venice, California, actually. But it's from a person that's who's originally from Europe, but he didn't know how to like develop an app or anything. And there's a company headquartered in Venice that will develop your app concept on your behalf, and they also helped him find investors. So if you ever have an app idea, you can do it. You can develop it. You don't need to know how to code. You just need to know a company that can develop it for you. So yeah, they ended up working on this for about a year in California before, it started growing the way to where it is now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you set up a store? It's fairly easy. You basically set up a username. And the thing is that this is connected to your PayPal account. So you have to have a PayPal account in order to use Depop. The cool thing about using PayPal is that you get protection, right? So when you get paid, let's say when you sold an item, you get the money immediately. It's not like Poshmark where you have to wait until they accept the item and then you have to deposit it to your bank account. So that is a cool thing about PayPal.
Yeah, I was just wondering, are any of you currently selling on Depop that are in the chat room with us? Or have you heard of the platform?
Okay. So another thing that Depop allows you to do is you could set up a business account. So it'll keep track of all your taxes if you have a business account, so that's quite user-friendly for resellers. Sorry.
A little bit about engagement, though, is with its 15 million users and how we mentioned it's set up similarly to Instagram, where you can post your narrative behind your pictures and your products, which is what they wanted to do. Also, there's a lot more engagement in there. It's like a social media platform. In fact, last year, beginning of 2019, 85 million messages were done from the users that were on in early 2019.
Cool.
That's a lot of interaction.
Yeah.
I almost say like it's different than Poshmark because Poshmark has interaction too.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's like, sharing, right? But if you think about the transactionally, it's more meaningful when you're having messages of interaction, if you think about it, because that's how you form relationships and trust.
Speaking of interaction, this is something that actually makes me want to list on Depop, is that you could post videos on there. So Etsy started doing it, but the cool thing is that Depop allows you voiceover, so you can actually speak to the item, you can sell it verbally, and that's something new that I haven't seen in any other platform. I know Poshmark was going to have that offer when we went to Posh Fest, but it's still not available. So it's pretty cool. You could see a video. A quick tip is they recommend uploading 4 or more photos, and it increases the chance of your item selling by 20%.
Yeah, and that's
cool?
I mean, I would recommend that across platforms.
Yeah.
So Resell Wannabe said, been wondering about it. Chica's Chic Sassy Retail said, heard of it. Bill from 324 Fine says, not selling on it. And 6 Creative Concepts said, you're schooling me now. Yeah, so again, this is just a platform that we think is going to grow significantly. It's kind of like Snapchat, right? Snapchat is kind of like the underdog of social media platforms. But you know what? Most of Snapchat is Generation Z.
Yeah.
Michelle and I are definitely not Generation Z. We don't really use Snapchat. But doesn't mean that we maybe shouldn't, because there's a big part of our market there.
That's right.
And again, as retailers, which all of us are, we're all retailers, right? We do need to be aware of all the markets that are out there.
Yeah, and talking about, diversifying your market, because if one platform, something happens to one platform, like Amazon, Marina was talking about how certain sellers are being shut down for no reason. You can also, use other platforms to sell items, and you have a security blanket there. So this is news to me too. So Depop actually sell in many different categories. This includes men's, women's, jewelry, artwork, tech, computers, beauty, sports, equipment, transportation, books and magazines. So film, it's a very, very diverse in terms of the category. Super cool. Music stuff. So I think this is new, because when I listed on Depop, it was mostly clothing.
Which was about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, about a year ago. So this is probably new, and I mean, it's competing with Amazon, which is our biggest retailer, right? Do they do toys? Do they have a toys section?
I think it would be under kids. Let me see. I don't know. Good question. We'll get back to you on that. Okay, so next is we're gonna talk about shipping. So how does shipping work? They made an update actually. Before, the seller is responsible for paying for shipping. Now they actually give you the option. You can make the buyer pay for it, or you can pay for it. The key thing is really to know how much your shipping cost will be if you pay for it, and make sure you enter the amount correctly. And they also allow you to ship internationally. So that is some research that you have to do, because, whether it's shipping to UK or Australia, it really varies, the shipping. So you got to make sure you pad your pricing if you are paying for it, or if you want your buyer to pay for it, make sure you put in the cost accurately. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay out of pocket. So that's news, because Poshmark only ships in the US, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're moving to... This is basically a quick snapshot of what Depop looks like. It's kind of like Instagram. When you hit explore, it really lets you browse through all kinds of items. So I could see it being pretty addicting, because you're going to think you're on Instagram, but you're actually shopping. So that's something very smart that they've done.
So I guess their goal was that you would take a magazine, and you know how on a magazine you have a model, and the model has different outfits on, and then it'll say who made that item, that clothing item. Well, the founder wanted it to be like an online magazine where you take a picture of you modeling the outfit, and then you can sell those items, or you can take a picture, like a lifestyle photo of let's say a vintage television, and then you can purchase the item.
Yeah, and that is really the idea of Depop, and they encourage you to actually model. They encourage you to model your clothes and make it look like it's your Instagram page, but you're actually selling clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So
and so
pretty smart.
So I could see why that would have made it so popular for the younger crowd, because honestly, eBay's been around for forever. And we still do things like that. Like eBay's like, okay, take a picture of the item and make the background white. And Amazon followed in the same manner, right?
Yeah.
This is a newer platform geared toward the younger people, and that's boring for younger people. Like there's no connection and no inspiration almost, you know?
Yeah, and it makes it interesting to look at too, rather than just seeing a white background with different clothing items.
Yeah, it does make sense for the newer generations why this would work better than the other platforms.
So we'll talk about commission. So their commission, Depop charges a 10% flat rate fee on every item sold. They don't charge any listing fee or subscription fee. And they mentioned they never sell your data, which is really big right now.
They do charge like their typical PayPal fee, you know, which PayPal always charges like 4% or something. And they are using PayPal, so expect that one as well. And they do have a 20-cent, it's 3.4% plus 20 cents per PayPal transaction. Now, they also have their own payment option. It's called Depop Wallet Payments. And that one, the transaction is 2.5% plus a minimum fee of 50 cents.
So it's essentially 12.5%.
Yeah, so I like this comment. It's very interesting. Resell Wannabe says, I'm not sure I'm cool enough or young enough for Depop. So, I mean, I get it because, I mean, definitely we don't feel like that either. But remember, we are retailers, we're resellers. And
we need to evolve also.
Well, and we need to know. And if you really want to be successful in what you're doing, you want to look around and see what's out there. You want to learn the markets, right? You want to learn. Michelle has a background in marketing, and you really want to learn at the different generations that are out there. Because remember, as business owners, and it's not even like, okay, I have a huge business, but even just in the smallest thing, like selling things from your closet. And a lot of times like wondering, why is my item not selling? But it's good to know the different markets that are out there, you know, what they're into, where they are buying. So we know, okay, where should I post this item? Where is it going to sell? Who wants my item?
Yeah. So 2434 Collectibles said, and a new platform might have less competition on certain items. That's absolutely right.
Good point. I like that.
Here's another cool factor, is that Depop has this thing called Share Shop. So there's a button in blue right there. It's a Share Shop, so as soon as you click it, you can choose 4 items from your shop, and it'll create some kind of grid, and it'll allow you to share on your social media platform, which makes you sell your clothing. Like if you have 3,000 friends, you're selling it to 3,000 people, right? So that's kind of cool.
That is really cool. I mean, I can't even tell you guys how many times we've sold stuff through Instagram and Facebook. Just even if we were selling like our old furniture on OfferUp and we put it on our Facebook page, a bunch of our friends and family actually were interested in our items.
Yeah.
And I do think we should probably do more of that, especially if you have a personal page. I'm not saying like turn your personal page into a store by any means, but every now and then you can reach out to people and say, hey, this is what I'm selling in my store. And if it's someone that knows you, they would more likely buy it from you, you know, especially during the pandemic, than buy it from someone else.
Yeah.
And so that's something to kind of look into.
So that's an overview of Depop. For me, the key takeaway would be, 1, you can do videos, which is really cool. 2, they charge a 10% commission. Which
2434 Collectible says that he liked.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
And they do shipping. You can, sell to international buyers in Australia or in Japan. So that is another cool factor. Certainly a little different from Poshmark. You get followers. It's very similar to Instagram. It's like Instagram.
It looks exactly like Instagram.
Together.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys find this information helpful, and let us know if you plan to expand to Depop.
So Manny Aguilar 67 said, the more you know, the more you're worth. Yes. And Resell Wannabe said video is awesome. Cool. Video is the new way of selling.
Yeah.
Etsy has video. Depop has video. And I know Poshmark is trying to get into video. So 100%. Even Amazon now is starting to have video. So that's the new way of selling. We need to get comfortable in doing those things. We do want to end with the funny meme. 2434 says, I have homework to do. Yeah, I know you sell toys, vintage toys, and I mean, all sorts of ages do collect those, you know, the toys that you're selling. I would look into it. I would look into Depop for you. Okay, this is a funny, really funny meme. You got this lady from like the 90s, like a mom, and she has like the most shocked and grossed out looking face. And she said, my friends, when I tell them about the Goodwill bins.
Actually,
I mean, that's
so
my
true.
face. Even when I hear stories about the Goodwill bins, that's my face too.
That's funny.
If you don't know the Goodwill bins, you got to Google it. You got to check it out. It's reseller lingo. But we're going to end it there on that note. Thanks again for joining us on this wonderful Wednesday. Keep in mind, we have an Etsy webinar August 15th. Many of you have already purchased. It's on pre-sale right now for $9. Thank you so much for purchasing that. You will not be disappointed if you aren't currently on Etsy and you want to get started. This is a way to go. We have the link in our bio, or you can go to our website, flippinggals.com. Have a beautiful Wednesday, guys. We will see you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.